was Ham who sinned. Why did God, through Noah, punish an innocent Canaan? Okay, remember we talked about the reasons. Okay, reason number one, Noah could not reverse a blessing that God had already granted. Remember when they got off the ark, he blessed Noah and his 3 sons. So Noah couldn't say, well, I know God has blessed you, but I'm going to reverse it. Okay, can't do that. Number 2, how do you know that Canaan was also involved in this sin? We don't know. Maybe he was. We're not for sure. But more importantly, Noah, through inspiration, spoke this curse because the Canaanite people, they become horrible people. Horrible people. As I mentioned to you, we have found archaeological evidence that shows the Canaanite people at one location sacrificed over 10,000 babies. Babies. The Canaanite people were horrible people. And Noah, through God's inspiration, he knew the kind of people that Canaan was going to be like. Canaan was going to be like who? Like Cain. Isn't it interesting? You got the name Cain, you got the name Canaan. You see the connection there, the similarity? Bad people. Last question. And I still believe we have found the actual ark. Am I wrong to believe? No. If you want to believe that we have found the ark, go right ahead. When we get to heaven, God is going to say, He's not going to say, well, if you did not believe that the ark had been found, you can't come in. Sorry. That's not the case. As I mentioned, you can go online. You can go to the various online streaming video people. And there are several different programs showing where they think the ark is here or here or here. There's 3 different locations, they say. Okay. I have my personal doubts that we have found the actual real ark, because I think the ark would have become a giant idol if it had been preserved. Because keep in mind, when they got off the ark, where could they get the wood for the sacrifice? Remember, Noah had that big sacrifice. Where are you going to get the wood, Noah, for that sacrifice? We're going to get the wood that you're going to need to build, houses or such. We're going to get the wood to stay warm. Remember, we got an ice age coming in. And even though the ice age doesn't hit where they are, the temperatures are going to be a little cooler. Where does all that wood come from? Answer, the ark. That's the only source for it, because trees, it's going to take a few years for those trees to grow big enough to have lumber from them. So those are your questions, and I do have a couple, I think, here we'll get to at the end. Let's now go into bonus material. Okay, bonus material. Before I leave the story of Noah, I want to give you some theological reflections on the story of Noah. Because remember, the 2 greatest things that evolutionists wants to throw back at us as Christians is they want to discredit creation story and they want to discredit Noah. So let's look at some reflections on the story of Noah. First off, foreshadowing. What is foreshadowing? You know, when you see in those Western movies, you see some guys ride in town and they got those white hats on, you know those are going to be the good guys, okay? They're going to be the good guys. They are foreshadowing. It's giving you a hint of what's coming up. What happened with Noah is a foreshadowing of the end of the earth and the resurrection of saints. Think about that. One of the themes of the story of Noah is what? The serpent's kingdom is wiped out. Yeah. Everybody who was not on God's side was outside of that ark, and he or she was wiped out. And we have the story in Noah of the earth. They had corrupted. And what? We see how the seed of the woman has been preserved through it to a new home, a renewed earth. What is heaven? That's a new home for us. The good, the righteous are preserved to live for all eternity in heaven. This is a foreshadowing of the end of the earth and the resurrection of the saints to a new home, heaven. Let's read these. Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24, verse 30. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the cloud of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they'll gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Noah and his family were saved. We will be saved. Noah was saved because he obeyed. We will be saved because we obeyed. Verse 37. But as the days of Noah was, just like it was back in the days of Noah, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. In the same way that people, they weren't prepared. What's that coming? What is that? That's water. It's coming from the sky. Oh, there's water coming from the ground is breaking up. They weren't prepared. People will not be prepared when our Lord comes back. Luke chapter 17. Luke chapter 17, verse number 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so it will also be in the days of the Son of Man. They ate, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage to the day that Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, as it was also in the days of Lot. Just like it was in the days of Lot, Jesus says. They ate, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built. But on the day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained. Don't you know those people in Sodom? What is that? Fire coming down. What is that? And destroyed them all. Even so will it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, who is on the housetop and his goods are in the house, let him not come down and take them away. And likewise the one who's in the field, let him not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. 2 Thessalonians chapter